nationwide. Superlatives, keep it locked like them Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airwaves, we talk about it. Brand new like the templates, let's be about it. Who got the info by the AM? John O. B. the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivy, so superlative like a bag of Drippos. Show you where the bricks at, Cincinnati red tag. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. It's the 5-1-3, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at.
Hey, good morning, family. Welcome back. It is an absolutely spectacular start to the day. A beautiful Thursday morning here in the greater Cincinnati area. I am currently broadcasting live from a secret location somewhere within the city limits of the city of Cincinnati. And as always, ready to talk it up on people, politics, and pleasure. This is the last honest place in Cincinnati media. It's the Nathan Ivey Show, powered by Sin Digital Media. Good morning to you all. Welcome. Please take a moment to like and share today's show, and we'll get started in about 60 seconds. Good morning, family.
Black Business Report. I'm Donna Wilson. This week, the Senate is moving toward confirming 3 new regulators at the Fed and SEC. All are white, despite growing calls for racial and economic justice. Research shows only 3% of high-level officials at U.S. financial regulatory agencies have been black, and there's only 1 black official among 21 current appointees at agencies regulating $70 trillion in U.S. assets. Some black analysts say if you want to bridge the black wealth and income gap, why not have a black person in the room? In other news, Warner Music Group and the Blavatnik Family Foundation's Social Justice Fund will provide $100 million to support charitable causes and organizations on the front lines fighting for social justice, equity, and diversity. That's your Bloomberg Black Business Report. I'm Donna Wilson.
Hello, I'm Charlie Winburn with Renew Community Church. It seems like the coronavirus came from nowhere. I have some good news that if you never quit and don't give up, out of nowhere, the way will be made for you and your family. Take your life back. Join Renew Community Church each Sunday, 11:45 a.m. on Facebook Live, facebook.com/CincyRenew. Rewrite your life while at home. Join Renew Community Church for the 12-week Rewrite.me series each Sunday on Facebook Live. Renew your life at home. Go to SundayConnectCircle.org for a free 12-week, 200-page PDF. Take your power back. Rewrite your life. Join Renew Community Church each Sunday at 11:45 a.m. on Facebook Live, facebook.com/CINCI Renew. I am Charlie Winburn, and remember, out of nowhere, the way will be made for you and your family.
You're listening to The Nathan Ivey Show. One man, one microphone, one mission. Now let's get back to the flow.
Hey, good morning, family. Welcome back. Welcome. I want to start a little bit differently with the show. News that perhaps you can use, get the show started right. Also, some promotion. I'll say it again. When you hear me promoting political campaigns, that is not an endorsement. That is a promotion. You will have to make your decision for yourself. Hey, good morning, family. Good to see you. A beautiful Thursday. Nathan Ivey in the house with you as always. Early risers rule this world. You got to get up early before the competition. When the competition is sleeping and slumbering, they think they way out ahead. You got to get up early and maximize the day. Viva la Chapas. Good morning to all the early risers out there. Hey, family, please take a second to like and especially share today's show. Your shares mean everything. Please share today's show on your network, on your page, and promote the Nathan Ivey Show and my mission to build independent black media in the city of Cincinnati. Good morning to you. Many things to discuss. Where's my mask at? Oh boy, we got to mask up. The mask mandate goes into effect today at 6 p.m. That's right, folks. Our fellow Ohioans, some of them anyway, just don't give a you know what. And they have been taking the coronavirus not so seriously. Matter of fact, it's a lot of folks out there that's been talking ish about the coronavirus and they think it's a government plot and it's everything than what it really is. And that's a public health crisis. Speaking of public health, now members of city council, along with some state officials, they want to declare racism. Think about this, racism as a public health crisis in the city of Cincinnati. I see that as an opportunity. I see that as an opportunity, family. You have to tell me what you think. 513-873-7134 if you want to share your thoughts this morning. I am here to receive it. Only got one rule. And, I'll be honest with you. I haven't always strictly enforced it, but I think we need to get back to that. Open your mind before you open your mouth. Simple as that. Other than that, it's all good. You don't have to wear a mask when you call in. You can unmask. I'm sure I'll be fine. But good morning to you, family, and welcome to the show. Again, 513-873-7134. As you can see on the screen there, Nathan Ivey with you. Viva la Chapas. Viva la early risers. Who would argue with me that early risers rule the world? You only get 24 hours in a day. What you sleeping for? You can sleep when you're dead. If you haven't not achieved your goals, you should be up early, exercising, strategizing while you listen to the Nathan Ivey Show. I mean, that's how your morning should go if you live in the Cincinnati area. That's what you should be doing, getting your exercise on, right? Which sets the stage for everything you're going to do. Personally, I do get a chance to do it like when I get up super early in the morning before I start to prepare. But not always. I love early morning workouts. It makes my whole day much better. Strategizing while your competition is sleeping. They comfortable. They think they way out ahead. You're going to beat them if you get up early and start strategizing. So use the morning, family. Get your ass out of bed early, 4, 3. You don't need to, what you sleeping for? Get up. Listen to the Nathan Ivey Show at 8 a.m. and, get your day started. Good morning to you. Unless you are where you need to be. Like if you've already accomplished all of your goals and, you retiring, that's different. You know what I'm saying? Cool. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, get up. Get up. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Let me go straight into the chop shop every morning. You know how I start. I see Jane. Hey, good to see you, Jane. Jane is the admin of the Friends Who Like the Nathan Ivey Show. I appreciate her and all the folks that started that group. I go there every single morning, every single day, throughout the day, interacting with people. A lot of good, smart, intelligent people in there. You can join if you like. It's a private group at this point, and we chop it up and share a lot of information. I can't possibly see everything. You know what I'm saying? My radar screen is vast and wide, right? And comprehensive, but I can't see everything. So that's a great way to start the conversation here, even on the show. And I post a lot of stuff that in particular matters to Cincinnati in there myself when I see opportunities, things that are happening in the community, or just great conversation posts. Please feel free to join. Good morning to you, Jane. Miss D writes, greetings. Good morning, Miss D. Brenda writes, happy Tuesday. She says, wrong date. Okay, it possibly very well. Did I put the 22nd? My bad on that. I'll change it. I appreciate it. See, that's love right there. I appreciate it. I ain't embarrassed about a damn thing. I ain't perfect, but I still have superlative flows. That's all that matters. Mason Marler writes, morning, Nate and the Choppers. Thank you. I will change that during the show. Morning, Nate and the Choppers. Hashtag flows rated E for everybody. Hashtag one man, one flow, one damn profile. You talking about Twitter? Yeah, Cincinnati Twitter is a lot of fake profiles. I'm going to go ahead and put it out there. I've talked about it before. And now that we're heading back into an election season, right, you can expect for it all to come back. All the Twitter shenanigans, hijinks, and comedy that you love on Twitter, it's back in full effect. David Mann, Amadeus wig for Diamond and Silk, hashtag free Dr. Fauci. Deborah writes, good morning, Nate and Choppers. It's July 23rd, not 25th. Sorry about that. Appreciate, see, that's love right there. I don't have nothing about it. As I said, I ain't perfect and ain't trying to project being perfect. Who's trying to do that's impossible. I make mistakes. I appreciate it. Casey writes, good morning, Nathan. You know what? I was just testing y'all. Yeah, we'll go with that. I was just testing y'all. Casey writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Good morning to you, Casey. Where we at? There we go.
Get to the chopper!
It never gets old to me. It's personal to us. Okay, it's personal. Just go with it. CG Dub writes, good morning, Choppers. Good morning to you.
Get to the chopper!
You know what? As of yet, I still did not get a chance to watch Lincoln Ware's show with Bruce Hofkowert yesterday. I didn't get a chance to see it. I was told you had a great interview. I wouldn't expect anything less. And I'm glad to see that Bruce Hofkowert is deciding to speak with the black community. I think it's spectacular. Kelly writes, good morning. Tracy writes, hi. Kiki writes, peace, love, and light, fam. Good morning to you. CJ writes, good morning, all. I see your fame, and he's calling themselves Tamayas Naivete. It's the 23rd, and baseball is back. Thank you. So, see, that's love right there. I love that. Believe me, I don't take no offense. That means you care. When people don't care, they see you looking crazy, and they don't say nothing. They think it's funny, or they sit back like, oh, that shows the Choppers care. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Fame. He writes, it's the 23rd and baseball is back. Don't cheat on your husbands either. And if you weigh 300 pounds, stop talking about eating healthy and practice it. Hashtag alt middle. I would say put all of that stuff in place in your own life, bro. But appreciate the the words of wisdom. I don't know who he's talking about. Tony's back. He writes, good morning, Nate and Choppers. Check out my daughter's group Tribe performed this evening on Feels Like CMF virtual weekend experience on CincyMusicFestival.com. Her flows are fire. I would love to interview her. You know, she don't need me to promote her, but she's already out there. And I know they were doing something like getting an anthem for Cincinnati. Did they ever choose a song? I know your daughter had a submission to that, right? Did they choose a song in that? I don't know if it was a contest or that was a promotion or whatever, but I did see that video. I thought it was super dope, man. Shout out to black artists. Pamela writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you. Good morning to you.
Get to the chopper!
Mason Marler writes, 100%, Tony. Congrats to your daughter. Absolutely. Everything's gone virtual because of COVID-19, which underscores once again the importance of the virtual world, that meaning the digital world, right? Everything's gone digital, and I love it. We are digital. Sharp writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Black digital family. The Mason Marler writes, morning, Pamela. Absolutely. Some well wishes. Yes. Kiki writes, spell racist, Mr. Ivy, love you. Thank you. I ain't perfect. I got spell check on here and everything. Mrs. Love Being Black writes, good morning, fellow beautiful smart choppers. I will change it during the first break at 8:30, but everyone inside the chop shop, you're not going to see it. New people coming in will see the changes. Lynn writes, good morning, great people. Good morning to you, Lynn. Pamela writes, shut up, Nathan. Talking all that exercising ish. I'm still half asleep listening to you. Get up out of the bed and get a cold shower, right? Wake up. A cold shower does great things for your skin and your body. And get your day started and get to hustling. Whatever your hustle is. Hopefully legal. Here's a quick reminder. I want to remind everybody that on September the 15th, we are going to... there it is. On September the 15th, we're going to have, see, that's me hit. I'm talking to my Facebook fam. They can actually see this. We're live on Facebook right now on my Facebook page and also on YouTube. Nathan Ivy EY. But if you want to hit your target like that, you know what I'm saying? Then join us on the 5th of September. I'm just giving you a preliminary update. Next week, starting on Monday, I'll have all the details. But I want you to save the date mentally. September the 5th, right? September the 5th. That is the day when we're going to start our first class. That is a Saturday. I don't know if your Saturdays are sacred or not, but you can spend it with me and spend it with us. Okay. For people that have got their CCW, you might even own a firearm already. You've been strapped legally for a long time. Great. You can join us. We're going to an outdoor course together and we're going to start our tactical training. I want this audience to move beyond just a CCW. That's great. That's the first legal step to concealed and carry. But beyond that is having the ability, right, to be proficient in the moment, in different environments, in different positions. All right. So I want you, if you unfortunately have to use and brandish your firearm and you have to, pull that trigger, I want you to hit your target like I did. You can see it right there. Right. I want you to come home to your family. All right. And we're talking about self-defense. Self-defense. So that's September the 5th. If you're interested, mark the date. Just mentally. On Monday, I'm going to put something out so you can sign up. You'll know what your cost is. You'll know what your deposit is. You'll know where the outdoor course is. And you can join us, join me, join the choppers, right? And we're going to go out and make sure that we are in a position to protect ourselves because the police show up afterward, not during, unless you're lucky. I'm just telling you. I'm telling you again. If you're interested, the opportunity is there for you. You can join us. And, we're going to get into some tactical training. I see this first class as the beginning of a series of classes. Everybody else doing it. Why shouldn't we? You know what I'm saying? Karens and Darrens are doing it. Why shouldn't we? You know what I'm saying? I don't need to put no images up on the screen. We all know what's going on. All right. Speaking of images, does anybody know, if I put this image on the screen right here, does anybody know what this is all about? I read this within the last 24 hours and I absolutely love it. These three brothers are coming together to do something that I think is potentially huge. And I hope that more athletes, because they got the money. I hope that more athletes, more black athletes do what these brothers are doing. That's Carmelo Anthony, Chris Paul, and Dwayne Wade. They are launching the Social Change Fund. And they're launching the Social Change Fund to empower black communities. Quote, when all else fails to organize us, conditions will. Like I said, I love this new anti-racism environment that we live in. I love it. Again, folks, when we're speaking with politicians, we should be talking about equity, policy, and tangibles, right? That's what we're looking from the politicians. We don't need no damn symbols. We don't need no lip service. We've had years and years and years and years of that. It's equity, policy, and tangibles in terms of what we should be asking for our officials. And again, I'm based in Cincinnati, but you might be anywhere in the country. Wherever you are, that applies. Quote, we established the Social Change Fund to invest in and support organizations working to champion criminal justice reform, enact policy solutions, and advocate for the human rights of all black lives now and for generations to come. So what does that mean? That means start a locally based organization and then hit them up for some funds. That's what it means. You know what I'm saying? Implement, execute. The time is now. That's what it's all about. So I love it. The athletes got all the money. They should be doing this, man. And I'm not going to hit you with, and I normally say this, damn, why did it take so long? It is what it is. We are where we are. I say take advantage of it and hold these people accountable to what they say they're trying to do. Again, Carmelo Anthony, Chris Paul, and D Wade, that's Dwayne Wade, are teaming up off the court to launch the Social Change Fund to offer financial support and resources to organizations focusing on minority communities. Have you started an organization that's focused on minority communities? You should hit them up. Are you thinking about starting an organization that's focusing on minority communities? You should hit them up. You should hit them up. I'm not sure they got a website up, but it's called the Social Change Fund. I love it. The issues they're going to focus on are public safety and criminal justice reform, and empowering communities of color by expanding access to voting and civic engagement. I love it. You know what? I might start me one. You should start you one. Why not? That's what time it is. That's what time it is. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. It's also time for me to take a first quick break this morning. I really appreciate you. 513-873-7134, family. Hold on to that thought, and you can use that number when we come back from the break. All right. Broadcasting live from beautiful Cincinnati, Ohio. It's the last honest place in America, the Nathan Ivey Show. And we'll be right back.
With the Bloomberg Black Business Report, I'm Donna Wilson. This week, the Senate is moving toward confirming 3 new regulators at the Fed and SEC. All are white, despite growing calls for racial and economic justice. Research shows only 3% of high-level officials at U.S. financial regulatory agencies have been black, and there's only 1 black official among 21 current appointees at agencies regulating $70 trillion in U.S. assets. Some black analysts say if you want to bridge the black wealth and income gap, why not have a black person in the room? In other news, Warner Music Group and the Blavatnik Family Foundation's Social Justice Fund will provide $100 million to support charitable causes and organizations on the front lines fighting for social justice, equity, and diversity. That's your Bloomberg Black Business Report. I'm Donna Wilson.
This is Zoe Wesson. What side of history do you want to be on? The right side, or one where black people continue to be underrepresented in Hamilton County? Now's your chance to end 230 years of exclusion. In Charlie Winburn, we have a man that's received the Cincinnati NAACP President's Award, who fought on the Ohio Civil Rights Commission for 6 years, who received the Baptist Ministers Conference Community Service Award. Charlie Winburn has received the Southern Christian Leadership Conference Award and was honored by WDBZ The Buzz as Pastor of the Month. We know Charlie Winburn, and he knows us. He's the right man to put us on the right side of history. On Tuesday, November 3rd, vote for Charlie Winburn for Hamilton County Treasurer.
I am Charlie Winburn, and I'm asking you for your vote on Tuesday, November the 3rd, paid for by friends of Charlie Winburn.
I'm voting in the midterm.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling on it.
The dad joke. Corny, groan-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
What did the buffalo say when he dropped his son off for school? Bye, son.
So take a moment to make your kid laugh, because dad jokes rule. Make your kid laugh today. Go to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Unexpected reactions to smart financial decisions brought to you by feedthepig.org.
Well, I finally did it. I opened a 401k.
So you're giving up? Just like that?
Giving up on what?
On getting an inheritance from a distant relative.
Don't you think if there were a billionaire in the family, we'd know about it by now?
Listen to me. We are one phone call away from riding horses on our own private polo grounds. One call from christening yachts, having a butler, using summer as a verb.
How do you figure?
Look, everyone's got a rich uncle somewhere. It's statistics. So the best thing you can do is just prepare for the inevitable.
Right, which is why I thought maybe it would be smart to take control of my finances. You know, start using a budget, get out of debt, set some retirement goals.
Budgets? Debt? You watch your mouth. Retirement shouldn't be a goal for us. It should be a way of life.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Nathan Ivey on the morning, everyone. Welcome back. Quick break. Good morning to you. Hey, listen, please take a second and share this. Do it for the culture. Do it for my mission is to build Black digital media in the greater Cincinnati and beyond. Do it for the mission and share the gospel of early morning flow. Cincinnati has an early morning locally based talk show, and it's digital. It's this show. It's the Nathan Ivey Show. We talk about Cincinnati issues in particular, and then we kind of branch out regionally, nationally, culturally. Really, we talk about it all with a focus on what's happening here in the greater Cincinnati area. And we need it, family. Good morning to you. Again, 513-873-7134. You can see my number right there. Good morning to you. Hope you're having a great morning. My morning started out spectacular. Great morning. We had one of those mornings where your kids ask you uncomfortable questions. Like, what were you doing with mommy? We were talking, son. Yeah, one of those mornings. Good morning to you. All right, let me go back to the, it really happened. It's like, Dad, that's what we were doing. Good morning to you. Fitness. What? 3-mile walk already? I'm loving it. I love it. Get it in, Miss Tiffany. Get it in. Nothing better than getting up early and starting your day, man. Early risers rule this world. That's the only way you're going to get anything done is getting up early, especially if you got a lot of stuff during the day. You can't do it no other way. Good morning to you. Pamela writes, he can't spell. He can't get the date right. The man has issues today. Hey, guilty as charged. I'm definitely guilty on that one. Pam writes, good morning, all. Good morning to you. Kiki is in the house. Fox writes, rise and shine, young stars. Happy Earth Day to His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie, the first, King of Kings, Lord of Lords, conquering lion of the tribe of Judah. I love it. Good morning. Jah Rastafari. Good morning to you. Look at us keeping us culturally relevant. I appreciate that, Fox. Appreciate you. Mason Marler writes, we have lady choppers who are educators, Nate. Better use that spell check. I use Grammarly, I think is what I use. But obviously, I didn't use it effectively this morning. I'm guilty as charged. Clue Magic writes, Grand Risings, Nate and the Choppers. Irish writes, good morning, great people. Yes. Good morning. Good to see you, Sister Iris. Jared writes, good morning, hashtag Team and I. Good morning to you, Jared.
Get to the chopper!
Good morning to you. Okay, Mr. Ivy, no problem. Oh, yeah, you know, it is what it is. I appreciate y'all telling me. It means everything. Really, I mean that. Tony writes, millennials doing big things. I love millennials. I like to look at myself as the oldest millennial on the planet. I love millennials. I love the energy, the hustle, and the don't give a damn attitude. I love it. Started by the hip hop generation. We started that and then gave it to you through the blessing of our genes, through our loins. And then y'all just took it and ran with it to a whole nother level. And I love it. Keep doing it. Clue Magic writes, absolutely. Her mom shared the videos too. That's when I put it together. Y'all raised a dope kid. Yeah, super talented. Super. I know y'all super proud of her. Very talented. And I love the interview. I love creative people. Cassandra writes, hey, Choppers, what's going on? Cassandra, good to see you as always. Good morning to you. Mason Marler writes, by the way, Lincoln Ware did a pretty good job interviewing Bruce Hoffbauer. Not exactly a Team and I Chop Shop exclusives, but very good. I'm just saying, OG Radio. I'm so glad to hear that. I really am. I'll say it again. Digital media has a role. We got a role in this too. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes digital media can push traditional media, and I think in the media sort of tapestry, we all have a place. But I'm glad to hear that. Somebody else told me that as well. I'm glad to hear it. Shout out to Brother Lincoln. If he's watching this morning, good morning to you, Brother Lincoln. Mason Marler writes, always lock the door, Nate. I think every parent has been busted at least one. I'm just saying, yeah, I ain't gonna get too much into it. Let's just say it was interesting. Good morning to you. Mike Jones writes, right, Marler, could have pressed him, but that's not his style, even though that may be what Cincy needs. Yeah, like I said, everybody has different styles. You know, my style is a little different than other people's style. It's not better. It's not worse. right? In terms of the audience, it's up for you to decide. And what I love about having multiple platforms, you can listen to one interview, get something, listen to another interview with the same person, get something, and so on and so forth. And then you, the voters, can put it all together and decide for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Me and my folks are more confrontational. You know what I'm saying? Time is wasted. I don't got a whole lot of time to be yabba dabba doing. Let's get to it. You know what I'm saying? That's just my time. And then I'm not here to be played, not in any way saying anything about anybody else, but I don't have time to waste and ask a whole bunch of dumb questions. I want to get to it. Try to figure out who people are, right? And then you make your decision. As you know, it's rare for me to give an endorsement, you know what I'm saying, during campaign season. As a media platform, I just provide the opportunity and then you make your decision. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the great thing about the age that we live in. Because if I flash back to like when I was in my 20s, we didn't have all this. I couldn't go on the internet and hear nobody like me or hear other voices. That just didn't exist. So I had to listen to people like Rush and listen to traditional voices, and there were some good ones. Like my man Carmine Guzman, I'll say it again. That's what shaped the foundation of my talk radio philosophy. And then was a part of the reason as to why I wanted to work with Jerry Tolliver, because she worked with Carmine Guzman. Shout out to Jerry if she's listening this morning. Carmine Guzman was that dude. That was the dude right there, man. I heard he got a tragic ending too, but happens with great artists sometimes. I'll probably end tragically myself. It is what it is. Comes with the territory. Good morning to you. Casey is first on Facebook to leave a comment. She writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Good morning to you.
Oh, get to the chopper!
Yeah, somebody asked me, did I get a chance to see that Fatal Affair with Omar Epps and Nia Long? I did. And I saw a lot of people, a lot of my friends on Facebook who were posting stuff like, oh, it was trash. It was predictable. And in terms of predictability, I give you that. But you know what? I enjoyed it. I watched it with the wife. We had a good time with it. I don't know if it was because I was watching like black folks that had a little bit of money. You know, so much of the media when it comes to black folks is they got a drug problem and they got all these financial problems. They living in the slums and trying to get out the ghetto. I get it. They living in beachfront property in San Francisco Bay. Do you understand how much that? I was telling the wife, you're like, do you understand what property values are in San Francisco? It's through the roof. Through the roof. And these black folks had a beachfront house in the Bay Area. They making crazy money. I just liked it from that point. It was interesting. I think people should check it out. Shout out to Nia Long. Yes. She was in the Fantasy File for a long time. Haven't talked about that in a while. So many other things going on. But I thought it was decent. It entertained me. And Omar Epps, I thought was crazy in him. He was crazy in him. Ladies, y'all ever dealt with some dude like that before? He had the facial expression. And you know, Omar Epps got those big eyes. Ooh, man, he was doing stuff with his eyes. I was like, oh, dude got problems. He killing beautiful black women. I'm not even going to spoil it for you. I'm like, yeah, you're taking out the sisters? These educated sisters. We need them. We need to keep the educated sisters. Yeah, college degrees and law degrees and $5 million mansions on the Bay in San Francisco. You trying to take them out, Omar? Man, let's give you some more targets. That's a joke. Glenn writes, morning, Nate, and the Facebook choppers. Absolutely.
Oh, get to the chopper!
I'm only going to do this to 8:45. Okay, I'm just going to do it to 8:45. Then I'll move on. Brenda's in the house on Facebook as well. She writes, good morning. Philosophy writes, yes, we got to get up, choppers. Yeah, early risers rule the world. Early risers rule the world. People that's been up since 4. What's the earliest that you rose this morning? I'm just curious here. I mean, who rose the earliest? Because, I mean, I hold on to that belief. You only got 24 hours. You got to sleep. You got to eat. You got to do everything else you got to do. If you don't get up early, you ain't going to get undone. If you have children, then they coming back and forth to school or whatever you got to do with them, you only got so much time. Get up early. Get that cold shower, and you'll be on to a great day. Sister Iris writes, good morning, great people. Good morning to you, Sister Iris. Did you ever get that stream up yesterday? I was looking for it. I was certainly looking for it. Kara Mitchell writes, good morning. It's Thankful Thursdays. Is that right? I'm with that. Hey, Bertha, good morning to you. Philosophy writes, it's 6:18 and I'm feeding my blackness. Feed your blackness. That's one reason why we're here. Good morning to you. Anthony writes, morning, Chop Shop. Good morning to you. Inga's in the house. She writes, good morning. Anthony writes, Nate, don't forget to put out the range info and date time again. I will. I'll get all the info to you by Monday, okay, which you'll have more than enough time, over a month, to make a decision. But I want to make sure that I mentally put that date out, and mentally you can put it in your mental Rolodex, right, which is September the 5th. It's the first Saturday in September. Shout out to my Virgos. I'm a Virgo. Yeah, the most superlative Virgo on the planet, by the way. Yeah, it's Virgo season. You already know. Good morning to you. So I will not certainly forget that, Anthony. That's the plan. Chuck writes up, Nate, going to check out, going in. Wait. Sup, Nate, going in, check him out. Hashtag Team and I. Yes, I am going in. Thank you. Appreciate it, Chuck. What up, Ron? He writes, have to make sure the funds go to the right place, to the right people. Well, I'm sure. Okay, he's talking about Carmelo Anthony. I'll put on the screen again this image of the brothers. I think that was at the ESPYs at some point, maybe a couple years back. But now these three brothers right here, from left to right, Carmelo Anthony, Chris Paul, and D Wade, that's Dwayne Wade, who a lot of people had a problem with. And now he's doing something for the black community, so you still have a problem with him. They're teaming up off the court to launch the Social Change Fund to offer financial support and resources to organizations focusing on minority communities. All right. So what they're trying to do is support the work that other people are going to be doing. So what does that mean? That means that you got to create something that, supports their mission, and perhaps they can give you and your organization some funds. That's what that means. And I say, if you're inclined to do so, then that's what you should do. But you ain't going to get no funds if you ain't create. If you don't implement and create something, you ain't going to get no funds. It's not for you. That fund is only for the people that is creating grassroots organizations that's focusing on empowering black and brown communities. If you don't do that, you ain't getting none. It's not for you. You know what I'm saying? Well, I think we all understand that. Jerica's in the house. She writes, hola, beautiful black people, and the others too. I love the Abby. I wish I could tune in today because I have a feeling that it's going to be a lit show. Hopefully so. We shall see. Good to see you, Jerica, as always. I love that greeting. Dale writes, hey, Nate, what's good? Everything, fam. Everything. Great to be alive. It's a beautiful Thursday. Everything's good, man. No worries. No worries. We got another day to get something done. Anthony writes, I would like to see them also start a league that could take money from the NBA. Some NFL cats could do that too. They all should encourage more young high school athletes to pick HBCUs. Colleges would hate to see that happen. None of the good old boys want to lose that kind of stuff. I'm with you on all of that. At the very least, maybe what D Wade, Carmelo Anthony, and Chris Paul are doing would be an example to other brothers. These guys got all the money. Multi-million-dollar contracts for playing sports. Okay, well, post George Floyd, post Breonna Taylor, post lip service, let's pool the resources together and get something done. Because it takes money to really have a big splash, to take it to a next level. It don't take money to make a difference. Like, you can make a difference if you organize and you just got some good ideas and you implement them. But you want to make a big splash and have an enduring effect, like you're not just a flash in the pan, so to speak, like you're around for a while. It's going to take money. That's what it takes. Dale writes, Lincoln's interview yesterday with Hofbauer was disappointing. I've yet to hear it. Again, I support Brother Lincoln. I've heard different things, Daryl. Some people said it was a great interview. I'm just glad that Bruce was talking with the black community, talking with a black man, right, about the issues. Okay, that's really all that really matters. Derek is in the house. He writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. What's up, Derek Bauman? Good to see you, man. Cleopatra Jones writes, rise and shine, Choppers. Good morning to you. Yes. Anthony writes, Link did good. He let the guy talk. With his version, you could still tell it didn't have to go down the way it did. Yeah, Bruce Hofbauer wants us to believe that he had to kill that man, that unarmed man, and then had the nerve to call it suicide by cop, which, we talk about black on black crime. We talk about the N-word. We talk about all these phrases, but we don't talk about suicide by cop. In my opinion, I'm uncomfortable with that because it opens up the door for somebody to get killed. And then the police say, oh, it's true about suicide by cop because I told him to stop. He kept charging me. Now, in this particular case, as I understand it, there was a so-called suicide letter, a suicide note. But again, police officers have a duty to protect people even from themselves. And 2 armed, trained police officers should not have to resort to lethal force to subdue an unarmed person. If somebody charging at you makes you mortally afraid, then maybe you shouldn't be on the force. But again, that was back in the 90s when you could kill people and get away with it. And, you know, the police was always going to side with you. You had the racist systems that protected police officers, and they protected Bruce Hoffbauer, in my opinion. That's why he got away. If that happened today, it'd be a whole different situation. And since we're living in today, we're living in a post-George Floyd world. That's what I'm judging you by. Simple as that. So again, I haven't heard it. I'm going to check it out a little bit later. I'm sure it was a great interview. Jesse writes, don't waste your time watching that movie. Oh, you didn't like it? I mean, you know, Jesse, like Ron said, it was decent. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't Love Jones, but it was decent. You know what I'm saying? I just like seeing some black folks on Netflix, to be honest with you. That wasn't like run around dealing with a dope problem or trying to get out the ghetto. I'll be honest with you. Is that wrong? You know what I'm saying? There's so many movies about us. If somebody got a dope problem or they locked into the ghetto and they struggling to get out, which, you know, is a part of the reality, I know, but it gets old as a continuing narrative as somebody that wants to get some entertainment. But I thought it was cool. I thought Omar Epps did a good job as being the crazy psycho ex. And, you know, ladies, all I can say is where Nia Long went wrong is that she wasn't honest with her husband when she almost slept with dude. She should have came home and just told him what happened. And a lot of everything that happened after that never would have happened. I blame her in the movie. It's her fault. She was wrong. She was on some Jada Pinkett Smith talking about, I want to feel good. I mean, that's the thing about the movie that got me. You living in a $5 million beachfront property in San Francisco Bay. In fact, $5 million may be grossly underestimating how much the house in that particular Netflix movie cost. You're talking about Bay Area? Beachfront, private beach? We might be talking about $10 million. She was a lawyer who was successful enough to have left the firm to start her own firm. And she had a sexy assistant. Yes. Remember her? You catch that? American Boy? Right? Her husband's an architect. And they empty nesters. What else could you want? They daughter in college. They got the whole beachfront private beach to themselves. Man, I love those kind of narratives about us. So I'll be honest with you, fam. I like the movie just based off that. Because I'm sick of seeing the crack tales and the drug tales and, you know, everybody struggling to get out the hood. I get it. But there's a whole different reality. Believe it or not, there are black folks that got it like that. And sometimes they interact with crazy folks. But Nia Long was wrong in the movie. She was wrong. She got this perfect life. Some dude shows up and pops her a few compliments. All of a sudden, she want to sleep with him, you know what I'm saying, in public, basically. What? What is wrong with women? What's wrong with y'all? You got a perfect life. You going to get that up because some dude pop up and say you look just as good now as you did 20 years ago? Oh, man, on some Jada Pinkett editions. Jada Pinkett, straight up Jada Pinkett. Straight up. You got a perfect life. You're an empty nester. Your husband's with you. He damn near died. I'm not telling too much of the plot of the movie. I ain't going to spoil nothing for you, but and now you want to sleep with some dude because he grinding with you on the dance floor. I don't get it, women. Can you explain that? She should have came home and told her husband and dealt with it. Because what do they say is biblical? Like, what you do in the dark will come out in the light or something like, it's something like that. You know what I'm getting with. And it is what it is. Tracy Rice, I like the movie. Yeah, Ron Rice, it was a decent movie. Let me see if I can bring the poster up. Yeah, I would recommend it. I mean, I ain't saying it's A1 or nothing like that. It's going to change your life and all this kind of stuff. But I thought that it was worth your time. Let me put this on your screen right here. You got to see this. See, this is the part right here where, ladies, y'all need to explain this to me. And don't say, oh, it's just a movie, Nate, because we just saw the same damn thing happen with Jada Pinkett. This is not just a movie. This is life reflected in art. That's what this is. Let me get this right here. I think I just grabbed the right one. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna put this up on the screen. What's up, son? Daddy. Yes. You okay? You good? Your heart is beating hard. Why? You just run downstairs or something? Why is your heart beating so fast? You don't know? Say good morning.
I slept in my own bed and I didn't wake up.
That's right. Say good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Don't do the baby talk stuff, man. I love you. Yeah, that's my boy right there. All right. That's the black love portion of each and every show. You know what I'm saying? Let me put this on the screen right here. Let me see if I can pull this up. It's loading right now. Yeah, here it comes. It's loading. You got to see this. Boom, right there. What is she doing? What are you doing? You got a perfect life. You know, dude come up and give you a compliment. All of a sudden, you're going to sleep with him. What? This is some straight female-ish stuff. Somebody explain this to me. I'm watching the movie like, I don't get it. I don't understand it. You know, can you ladies, can you explain this to me? Because I know ladies was like, I understand completely. I don't get it. That is not your husband. That's the psycho ex-dude that's trying to get the ill nana. And I won't even tell you what happens after this scene. You got to watch it for yourself. I won't even tell you. I ain't even going to say nothing. But how early did you rise this morning? I'm just curious. How early? How many people got up the 4 a.m. hour? And that's what you do every morning. I bet you're going to be successful. At least you're going to set the building blocks for your success because you need time. Let me see. Anthony writes, I watched it with the wife, thought it was good. Omar played the role good. He did. He played the hell out of it, man. He was looking at them big old Omar Epps eyes. You know, Omar Epps is an OG classic from way back in the day, taking them back to Juice. You got the juice now. He had some juice in that movie, man. He was playing them. I'm like, how is he playing all these smart, intelligent black women? What the hell? With these simple lines. Looks like you ain't aged a day since last time I seen you 20 years ago. That's the panty dropper line now? That line leads to this? It's that easy? Obviously, I grabbed that from Entertainment Tonight real quick off of Facebook. Off of Google. Telling you, ladies, explain this to me. You got a perfect life. But some dude from your past can still come in and slip in between your husband. Really? And then she'll probably turn around and blame him, right? It's your fault. Dale writes, he says 5:05 a.m. Yup. I love it. The show is at 8. If I'm at my best, right, I like to get up about 5 at the latest. That gives me a full 3 hours, which is not a lot of time, to make sure that I'm prepared for what I want to say. And if I've got a guest, that still isn't enough time, quite honestly. They say in talk radio, and I'll just share this with you, that for every 1 hour you're on the air, you should spend 3 hours in prep. Okay? Now, of course, I do stuff the night before. I never go to bed without thoughts in my head or something we're going to talk about because you never know how the morning's going to be. Dale writes, working at 5:30. Anthony writes, Omar played it just like a crazy white in those kind of roles. Didn't think he was that versatile. Really? Really? Omar Epps got super crazy flows. He's pretty good at what he does. I like Omar. Ron writes, true. Not sure to what. Tracy, I think what I was saying about the NBA brothers. Tracy writes, still high off verses. Yeah, I did. The wifey was watching it last night, and I was reading and preparing for this show and doing my whole night preparation thing. So I was listening to it. It was DMX versus Snoop. On the surface, that's a no-brainer. Snoop all day. No disrespect to DMX. He has some bangers, but Snoop's got a catalog that goes way back to the G-Funk era, man. We talking about Dr. Dre. G-Thing? Ain't nothing but a G-Thing? You're talking about classics. You could take 3 songs off the Doggy Style album. Classics. When I heard about it, I didn't think that DMX really had a chance. But I love this new virtual digital stuff that people are doing right now, man. It's entertaining. It's a lot of fun. It brings you closer to the celebrities. You know what I'm saying? I like that. Yeah, it was good. But come on, man. Ain't nobody. DMX ain't beating Snoop. You can count on probably 3-4 fingers the hits, the classics that DMX has. Snoop, man, he goes way back, like I said, to the Dr. Dre G-Funk era. You know what I'm saying? Down for my nigga. Come on, man. We're talking about super classics with Snoop. I'm not mad at Snoop anymore for what he said about Gayle as well. I ain't mad no more. He was out there. Cruther writes, the movie was basic and predictable. I can't deny what you're saying, Kiki. I ain't telling you that. I just like the fact that I was looking at black folks, to be honest with you. Affluent black folks that wasn't struggling to get a hit or struggling to pay the rent. You know, they had other issues. So I thought it was cool. Jason writes, the Wild Cloud podcast is here. Nathan, what's up? Hit me. I want to hear more about it, man. The Wild Cloud podcast. Hit me with a DM, Jason. Let's talk. You locally based? Let's talk. Let's talk. Anthony writes, he could only claim killing that as righteous because of the way policy was written that covered his ass being investigated by his own. Right. That's what I said. You know, back in the 90s, you could kill unarmed people and kill black men and get away with it because you had racist systems that protected the racist actions of police officers. That's what led to the social unrest. It wasn't just Timothy Thomas. It was a list of unarmed black men, and black men in particular that had lost their lives at the hands of police that led to the outrage, the I just ain't taking no more, that led to people hitting the streets. That's what led to it. And yeah, I understand he was exonerated, but I also understand that OMI came out and said that brother didn't have to die. And again, just think about it. You got 2 armed police officers, trained police officers dealing with an unarmed man. And you can't subdue him without using your firearm? That's a character flaw. And all this, I was afraid for my life. When we hear officers say that today, what do we think? So why would I look at Bruce Hoffbauer any different just because it happened in the 90s? I'm telling you, people got a real decision to make when it comes to Hamilton County Sheriff. And, you know, it is what it is at this point. He could only claim, they read that. Sitting in urgent care with my son, and the nurse just told this old man, you tested positive. What? Why are you in urgent care? Why are you in urgent care? I hope everything okay. Man, I'm telling you, everybody know, maybe a couple weeks back, I had to go stay overnight in the hospital. Everything's okay. I hated it. Who the hell want to stay overnight in the hospital in the COVID-19 era? I hated it. And I'm a little slightly OCD, and I'm a Virgo. I ain't want to touch nothing. You know what I'm saying? I was not in good spirits, put it that way. My attitude was bad, should I say. Because I didn't want to be there. Damn, I hope everything's okay. And get out quick. Get out. Iona writes, I agree with Nate. She should have told her husband ASAP. Right. Had she told her husband ASAP, then half the stuff that went down, they would have ended it. You know what I'm saying? She should have just told him. But, you know, we understand that women do stuff and they bury them bones real deep. They take it to their death. They ain't gonna say a word about it. Men are more honest than women when it comes to that kind of stuff. I think we all agree on that, right? I think generally speaking, men, if they make a little mistake or do something, they're more likely to tell their spouse than the female is. It's just something about the difference in men and women. It is. You know, I think in a situation like that, men they just don't want to live with the dishonesty. Women, they rationalize it like, well, I don't want to mess up a happy home. And so they'll bury that bone so deep. Ain't nobody gonna find it. Take it to their deathbed. Won't say a word about it. Men, and that's the reason why men get caught cheating, because I think generally speaking, we're more honest than women. That's just my thoughts on it. And yes, I'm biased because I'm a man. Jason writes facts. Absolutely. Absolutely. This man is walking through here with no mask and is fighting them for being asked to put one on. Oh my God. One of those. I was just at the grocery store yesterday. My wife, medium Buddha, and myself. And you ever picked the wrong line at the grocery store and you wish you hadn't? That's what happened to us yesterday. So we scoping out the lines like, oh, okay, it's only one person there. Let's go over there. Okay, so we go over to this line And it was just a bad decision. Number one, the Kroger cashier had a mask on, but the mask is down here. It's supposed to be up here. So that was the first trigger. And then there was a white woman looking like a Karen, looking lost. Forgot her money, didn't have a debit card or whatever. She took forever. And then had the nerve, she knocked down, I was buying some bottled water. She knocked down one of my bottled waters with her elbow and then had the nerve to touch my water and pick it back up. That ain't polite in the COVID-19 world. That's you subject to get a tongue lashing for that. But I kept my cool, family. You'd be so proud of me. I just simply, again, I wasn't touching the surface. I had something else. I had like a paper towel in my hand. I simply grabbed it. My wife was so proud of me, and I put it back, and I got another one. And when I came back, the white woman was still there and hadn't moved at all. We ended up getting all our groceries, put it right back in the cart, and going to the self-checkout, which COVID-19, I mean, it's germs everywhere, fam. It's just, how you gonna have the mask down here and you working at Kroger? Do I need to report you? And as I was leaving, it was a black female, an older black female. I said, listen, y'all better say something to her because she ain't got no mask. Because I was going to say something to her. And I love black people. She immediately was like, she ain't, like, just imagine this, right? So, you know, the cashier is here. The black woman is here, right? She wouldn't even walk toward the conveyor belt. And she said to her loud, you need to put your mask on. You need to put your mask on. I love it. It was great. Yeah, man, these folks, just mask up, please. Mask up. The governor has just put another mask order in place. We know where we're headed. We're headed to another lockdown in Ohio. That's where we headed. Okay? Mask up. All right? That's all you got to do. It's real simple. Didn't Donald Trump just say it's the patriotic thing to do? Listen to your leader. Mask the hell up. I mean, hell, even Donald's wearing a mask now. Even Donald wears a mask. Now look at him with his presidential mask on. It's so simple. And to me personally, when I go to the grocery store, what I wish that Kroger and Whole Food and Myers and all the grocery stores, Jungle Gyms or the Farmers Market or the Finley Market, what I hope they would do is deny service to anybody that don't have a mask on. Force the confrontation. If they don't like it, they want to wild out. That's what law enforcement is for. They want to wild out and get all Karen and Darren on them. Okay. You doing all this, Karen? Okay, I see you, Darren. 911 boys, call the boys on them. You know what I'm saying? But as a patron, I don't want to walk in to get my groceries and I'm sitting next to somebody with no mask on. Hopefully after 6 p.m. today, that won't happen. You know, hopefully. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? Maybe if they start giving everybody the Rashawn Davis treatment, right, which you get 11 days in jail and they hit you with a felony and you got to go through all of this up and down, you know what I'm saying? Then maybe people will stop doing all of this. But the powers that be reserve that for black folks. They reserve that for black folks to say things like F the coronavirus and F the governor and the governor's a white cracker. They reserve that for them. You know what I'm saying? Maybe if everybody got the Rashawn Davis treatment, some of this nonsense would stop. Until then, I have no confidence that it will. I'm just telling you. It is what it is. Let me see. Jason writes entanglement. Jesse writes the daughter's boyfriend was killed because of Nia Long. Exactly. Tracy writes, if your wife is not lonely, let me stop right there. Man, don't do that, Tracy. You are making excuses for bad behavior. I watched the show. She was not lonely. Her husband was there with her. You're buying a $10 million beachfront condo with a private beach area. Lonely? You're an empty nester. Your daughter's in college. It's just the two of y'all in a big old mansion on the beach. Lonely? Then get a puppy. You know, invest in an aquarium and put some fish in there. Put some betas in there or something. Lonely? See, there we go. See that women always cape for women when they make bad choices. We need to end this. This is a bad choice, a selfish choice. She should have went home and told her husband. Like, boo, I got something to tell you. We gonna have some problems for a while. You might even leave me. But like Jesse said, her daughter's boyfriend never will still be alive. We talking about this show on Netflix. And he would have had more respect for you. Like anybody who's ever been lied to, correct me if I'm wrong. You ever been lied to? It's the lie that pisses you off. But then it's all the time and all the interactions from the first lie to when you find out that make you even madder. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, we grown. I don't get it. Maybe I do get it. Celeste writes, good morning. Good morning, Celeste. Good to see you. Anthony writes, I don't know if I would tell wifey about every little slip, Nate. Don't get me wrong. Haven't slipped in 25 years. Again, there's always exceptions to the rule. I'm just saying in that situation, like that Nia Long found herself in, that happens to men too. I get it. We all fragile and little God's imperfect little creatures. I get it. I understand. She should have came home and told her husband because she ended up telling him anyway after a whole bunch of bad stuff happens. Just saying. I think generally speaking, men would just say, you know what, boo, I got something to tell you. That's just how men are. Deborah writes, good morning. Gotta love LOL man. Jason writes, she wanted to feel good. Is that right? She wanted to feel good. I want to feel good. Feel good? You got a $10 million beachfront property with a private beach in San Francisco. Do you understand? You going good. Your husband almost died in a motorcycle accident a year before. And you're empty nesters. If you don't feel good, you ain't gonna never feel good. You got your own business, right? And you must be doing well. You got a cool office and a personal assistant. But what more do you want out of life? Go exercise. Go walk on the beach. Ron writes, blame it on the alcohol. That's hilarious. I guess so. That alcohol get them every time, don't it? Every time. Tracy writes, the fact of the matter was she presented her life was perfect, but it wasn't. I mean, but who is she pretending for? I've heard this before. Who are you pretending for? And the one thing I've learned to this point is that you don't get everything you want in life. It don't work that way. Life is about compromises and choices and consequences. This whole idea of a perfect life is just all in your head. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can be not rich and feel like you got a perfect life. It depends on what's important to you. You know what I'm saying? This is all some of this attention stuff. Women love attention, and a lot of times it turns into sex. That's what it all comes down to. Don't try to make this into something deeper than what it is, Tracy. This is some straight up self-indulgence, self-aggrandizement, selfish stuff that we saw with Nia Long. And it was so timely that it came out when we saw the same thing with Will and Jada. That's all it was. All this, I'm in my feelings. I ain't felt good. That's gibbly gop goopy. You're a grown ass woman. You know what I'm saying? Get it together, yo. Dale writes, who played the husband? His name is on the tip of my tongue. He ain't as well known to me as Omar is. You know what I'm saying? But I've seen him in some different stuff. And I don't know, ladies have to make a decision as to whether you think he's cute or not. I can put an image of the three of them up on the screen here real quick if you give me a second. Give me 1 second here. I don't know the brother's name. I don't have it in front of me. This is somewhat of a tangent for me. You know what I'm saying? But I think his name is why is this in my head? I think his last name is like Bishop or something like that. Like Stephen, I think it's Stephen Bishop, I think that's his name. Anyway, check this out. Nia Long, Omar Epps, and Bishop. I think that's what the brother's last name. And that's the guy who played her husband on the right there. Look at Nia looking sharp when he took that photograph. And Omar Epps, man, Epps, not F. He went nuts in that movie. What? They should send me some money for promotions on that one. Yeah. Jason writes facts. Jesse writes, I had enough when Omar Epps started dancing. Right. Oh, man. That gets him every time. The alcohol, the compliments, the close dancing. It's all a recipe for a married woman to cheat on her husband. It is what it is. Jason writes, Snoop is rap. Ron P writes, DMX gave it to Snoop. It was lit. Yeah, I've heard it was a good time. From what I heard, it was a good time. I like those things. I mean, it's not, I don't always tune in. The wifey really likes it, so sometimes it's on, and I kind of pay attention to it that way. But it's cool, man. Do what you got to do. Vince writes, you didn't think DMX had a chance? No, I did not. I did not. And maybe I forgot some hits, but to me, you know, Snoop goes way back to the Death Row era, right? Classic hip hop, and expands all the way to today. I don't even know if DMX is still making music. I mean, I know he had a short little run there, and he had some bangers, the Rough Riders, you know, How It's Going Down, you know, Stop, Drop, you know, a couple things come to mind. But when I think of Snoop, it just seems like the hits just keep on coming. That's just me, though. Tracy writes, DMX's catalog is fire too. It was literally a tie, was it? It's interesting. I wouldn't have thought that. Jason writes, I love them both. Me too. Me too. I like them both as artists. If X had stayed on his game instead of the pipe, think he would have had a bigger and better catalog than Snoop. We'll never know. Because the pipe took the, I mean, how many artists have succumbed to the pipe, whether it's the literal pipe or just, you know, an example for some other kind of drug abuse, right? I mean, think about it. Remember D'Angelo was on his way, that neo soul love, and then the pipe took him from us. Damn, that pipe is powerful, yo. F the pipe. F the pipe. Ron writes, you missed a good battle. DMX got hits, good hip hop. I'm glad people liked it. Iris writes 14 prior to Timothy Thomas. I mean, Sister Iris would know she was there on the front lines. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just Timothy Thomas. That was just a straw that broke his camel's back. And it was the kind of situations that, and again, I mean, you know, I don't want to go on and on and on. I'm sure it's a very emotional thing for Bruce Hoffbauer, but I'm sure it's emotional for a lot of black folks in modern day times. You know what I'm saying? We're looking for the best leadership. That's what it's really all about, is who's the best person to lead as a Hamilton County sheriff. You got to make your decision on that. A lot of people might be listening like right now, like, well, Nate, I would have shot him too. Okay. Well, you sympathetic to Bruce? Okay. Be sympathetic. You should vote accordingly. And there might be others who, you know, feel differently. And again, I think all those opinions are valid. I'm just saying. Retro writes, nah, DMX has hits. It was so dope. You need to watch it. Is it even available to watch now? Or is it one of those things you got to watch live? I know they did it on Instagram, which is cool. Kristen writes, hey, what's up, Kristen? It's been a minute. She writes, hi, Nathan. Hey, Kristen, good to see you. As always. Damn, it's been a minute. Anthony writes, no decision to make. McGuffey all the way, just like voting for President Biden all the way. It is what it is. What I appreciate about Charmaine McGuffey is that, and this is what I'm looking for in leadership, is that she knows the reputation of the show. She's willing to come on this show and answer all the questions. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate that. It says something about how she is going to be as a leader, right? And similarly, the way that Bruce Hoffbauer has been moving says something about how he's going to be as a leader. You know what I'm saying? He only going to listen to people that agree with him and kiss his ass and tell him he's doing okay and all this kind of stuff. That's not leadership. That's not leadership. If I was running for office, I'll talk to everybody, whether it's right-wing radio, black radio, podcast, new shows, old show. I mean, wherever the audience is and there's voters there, that's who I would talk with. Whether it's somebody who's professed a bias toward me or not, because it's not about me. And that's what these elected officials need to understand. It ain't about you personally. It ain't personal. It's about what kind of leader you would be if you were in a leadership position. And that's what Bruce Hoffbauer and all the Bruce Hoffbauer people don't understand. It ain't personal. It ain't about you. It's about the position that you want to be in of authority. Like Hamilton County Sheriff, that's a position of authority here in Hamilton County. That's not a small little, small time position nobody's ever heard of. You got real authority. You got say so. You can make things happen. You can impact people's lives in a very serious way. And I ain't voting for you if during the process you show me that you're not setting up to those core leadership values, which means get the hell out your feelings and answer the questions. That's what that means. You can't do that as a candidate. You're not going to do it if you become the sheriff. You're not going to do it. You're not going to switch and change and be somebody different. You're going to be the same OG. Like JC said, man, no matter where you go, you are who you are, homie. You're going to be the same person. That's how I look at it. I may be different. Might be different. And again, I don't want to, I ain't trying to ish on Lincoln. Lincoln does his thing. People like him. I like him. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad he's on the air. I'm glad the buzz is on the air. Very much so. I'm glad that people can listen to a lot of different things. But, you know, share your opinions. I ain't here to block for nobody either. It is what it is. Daryl writes, Lincoln didn't push back when asked about Black Lives Matter, saying there's a few bad apples. I'm like, what the hell? There are bad apples in CPD that make life-death decisions on unarmed black people. Black Lives Matter hasn't killed anyone. He was pushing that false equivalency narrative. You know, the thing about it is, you know, as an audience member, it's good to hear that people are smart enough, conscious enough, informed enough to know what time it is. That's what really matters. You know what I'm saying? I say take what you can from it, draw your conclusions from it, and vote accordingly. That's what I say. Vote accordingly. Jason writes, Jada type of action. Yep, all day long. Vince writes, yo, Nate, my dogs don't stop. Your dogs don't stop. Let's go, Nate. Good morning to you and the choppers. You know what?
Get to the chopper!
I broke my own rule, but it was worthy of it. Anthony writes, we will tell only if we think the wifey is getting close to finding out. You might be right about that. Maybe so. Tracy writes, you know, I would have reported the worker. I know you would have. I know you would have. No doubt about it. Jason writes, everyone keeps their mask dirty. I don't. No, I got several of them. We wash them, we change them out, and we keep the disposable mask in the car. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you might forget your mask. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. After 6 p.m. today, if you live in the state of Ohio, you better have your mask on. And the thing about it, though, let's be real here about this mask mandate. People ain't going to, there's going to be some people that's encouraged, but they're not going to do it. Unless you start giving everybody the Rashawn Davis treatment, it's not going to happen. And it is what it is. That's how it is. Unless we start hearing about people going to jail, like white people. Because we used to black people being over prosecuted and getting the short end of the stick. I mean, we all kind of used to that. That don't really faze white folks. Okay. Like these white folks run around having parties. These people that was down at the pool party, Sunlight Pool, because that was black folks. These people are incorrigible. And they're not going to stop if there's no teeth in the mandate. You know it, and I know it. Now, here's what I will say, is that it can get worse. Around the country, there have been stories of people who have been arrested, who have been put on house arrest, like this couple in Kentucky. They refused to sign a self-isolation order, and they were put on house arrest. They say they were put on house arrest after they refused to sign a self-isolation order after one of them tested positive for COVID-19. Elizabeth Linscott says that she got tested for COVID-19 on July 11th. She wasn't showing any symptoms. And she got a call from the health department. The health department asked her to sign a form agreeing to check in daily, self-isolate, and let officials know if she's been treated in a hospital. She declined to do it. Quote, I will not travel by any public, commercial, or healthcare conveyance, such as ambulance, bus, taxi, airplane, train, or boat, without the prior approval of the Department of Public Health. Now, this is happening just south of us. I could get to Kentucky in 10 minutes from where I live at. Probably shorter than that. If there's no traffic, I hit 75 off Reading Road. I could be there in 5 minutes. That's how close Kentucky is. Whole nother state, whole nother set of laws and rules, a whole nother set of players. That's how close it is. What we're seeing in Kentucky will and can happen here. I keep telling people, like I said, I had a family member that was playing games with COVID-19 early on. You know, my little brother playing games. I ain't know COVID-19. If I had COVID-19, why they let me go from the hospital? I remember telling you the story, right? I'm looking at this guy like he's a damn fool. You want to argue about the facts? We should never argue about the facts. And people think it's a game. This is not a game. If the powers that be wanted to lock you in your house with the threat of arrest, they have the power to do that. It wouldn't take a lot to do that in the city of Cincinnati. All you got to do is hit the major arteries, hit the intersections where that lead to the interstate highways, put a roller on the interstate highways. They could shut this down real quick. Some of you guys live in cul-de-sacs, one way in, one way out. Some of you live in neighborhoods where there's a series of cul-de-sacs that all lead to one way in or one way out. Maybe it's 2 ways in, 2 ways out. All they got to do is pull a roller right there and you shut in. You'll be out here looking like the Walking Dead. That could happen if the numbers go up and the powers that be feel like, oh, you know, people are incorrigible. They can shut this down, homie, in a way that would really make you feel like your rights are being taken away from you. I don't want to see that. I don't want to experience that. Mask up. It's real simple. It's real simple. You test positive for COVID-19, stay your ass at home. It's real simple. Because what can happen next is already happening in separate stories around the country. Like I said, this couple is on house arrest. Crime. You playing games with COVID-19. That could happen here in Ohio. And before you say, oh, they can't enforce that. They can't. Yes, they can. Yes, they can. Believe me, there's a plan for everything. And law enforcement has a plan for these kind of things as well. You believe me, they just take a big map of all the intersections. They've already done this. These plans are already there for emergency situations. They put rollers, 2 officers in different spots around different neighborhoods, and you ain't moving. It's just that simple. Let's not take it in. Let's not force the power structure to do that in the state of Ohio. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying we don't need to do that because people think this is a game. Like they can't do this. They can do it. It can happen. They do have the manpower for it. They do have the weapons for it. It's real. Stop playing with COVID-19 is all I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, man. Don't quote hashtag Orange45, Nate. You'll have people drinking bleach. If they drink bleach, that's more food and water and air for us. It's Darwinian. That's what I say. Ron writes, mask on, mask off. Jason writes, they won't be happy until we lock down again. Right. And then after being locked down again, some people won't be happy until it's like a real lockdown. Because the last time we was locked down, that wasn't like a real lockdown. That was kind of like a play lockdown. Because you didn't see rollers at the bottom of your street, did you? You know, there wasn't a whole lot of people that you heard about that was super getting arrested outside of black folks initially. First 20 people in Hamilton County that was arrested for the stay-at-home protective order. I'm sorry, of the first 14 were African-American, non-white, and they got harsher charges than their black counterparts. These are facts. So we know how this is going to go down. All I'm saying is the first time was sort of like the honor system. Okay? It was the honor system. Like, hey, only essential people, only if you go into the grocery store, only if it's essential, right? It was kind of just, being nice about it. The next step is rollers at major intersections. Rollers, I'm talking about police cars at major intersections. 2 of them, 2 officers at every major intersection. That's how it'll be. How do we know that? Well, because we got a glimpse during the social unrest. We got it before. That's how they do it. They're going to put 2 officers at the major intersections. I live in the Coreyville area. I saw it with my own eyes. When the CPD and the powers that be locally thought that there was a threat of violent protesters coming to Coreyville, they put 2 officers and rollers at all the major intersections. That's what they did. I'm speaking facts to you. And that's what they'll do again. Okay? Stop me when I'm wrong, fam. I hope I'm wrong. I don't want to be right about this, but I think that's what will happen. Kristen writes, you can still be lonely, Nathan. I mean, I don't understand that. Maybe it's my male brain. You in a financially successful marriage. You are professionally successful. You are now a new empty nester. Your daughter goes away to college. Your husband ain't cheated on you. He ain't abused you. He ain't hurt you. The only thing he did is he almost died in a car accident. And you lonely? You lonely? I mean, can't you just pick up a new hobby? Can't you just, sit down, talk with a psychologist or something? Do you have to hook up with an old flame and have sex with them or nearly have sex with them? That's the only way to deal with that. Come on. See, I told you women make excuses for the bad behavior of other women. It starts with their friends. Their friends be doing dirt on their husbands and boyfriends. They think it's funny. I don't know about that. Tracy writes, you didn't watch the movie in detail, Nate. I mean, what did I miss? What did I miss? I saw the movie. I saw it, all of it. What I'm speaking is facts. Lonely, go get a puppy. Pick up line dancing or something like that, or start working on your body. You know what I'm saying? Take the sugar out of your diet. You'll feel a little better. You know what I'm saying? Start eating cleaner foods. But to almost have an affair with some dude because you're lonely, what you lonely for? I don't get it. I ain't see it. But again, I'm a man. Told you, women make excuses for the bad behavior of the women. Now, when a man, if you had flipped that, if you took that movie and flipped it, right? Exact same narrative, everything's the same. These same women saying about you lonely and making excuses wouldn't be doing that. They wouldn't be doing that. And Tracy, when Kendu did that, and I told you that he must have been in a bad marriage, you didn't understand all that. You couldn't understand it. Kendu was the dude that was married to Mary J. Blige. And I told you, what black man is leaving a millionaire superstar if you ain't unhappy? Ain't no black man doing that. And you her manager. And your job is just to manage the career of an R&B hip hop legend. I mean, all y'all doing is living in mansions and going to performances, and that's it. And you couldn't understand that, though, Tracy. You weren't making no sense. Oh, he's lonely. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. I know she heated somewhere. Oh, my God. I know she is heated. Jason writes, wear a mask. They don't last for weeks at a time. Wear a clean mask. Right. Jesse, he agrees with me. Lonely, you need a hobby. Exactly. Go get you a hobby if you're so lonely. You're lonely? What you so lonely for? See, men can't use those excuses. That's the only kind of excuse that a married woman can get away with. She lonely. If a man said he lonely, and then people examine your life and you realize you should be living a good life, they're going to judge the man like, you're just a weak, selfish man. Your selfish ass. You ain't lonely. You just want to have your cake and eat it too. But women don't judge other women that way. Generally speaking, there's always exceptions to the rule, but generally speaking, they don't do it. Anthony writes, women just like men, sometimes you wonder if you still got it. Is your game still strong? I mean, I get it. I'm a man. I'm 100% black man. I understand completely. Kruther writes, women take their secrets to the grave. Yes, they do. They bury them bones deep. They might even forget about the bones. Like, didn't I bury some secrets over here? Oh, yeah, it's a body here. Where's the other body at? Smashing dudes on the low. Kristen writes, but she waited too long to tell him also. Right. She should have came home that night, dealt with the difficulties of it, and just told him. But she didn't know that Omar was going to go all Fatal Attraction on her. She ain't know that. Boiling rabbits in the kitchen. She ain't know all of that. Jason writes, replying to Anthony, true is just how far you need to go. Okay. Gina writes, what man coming out and telling the truth that night? I'm just saying, generally speaking, men don't bury their secrets as deep as women. I think we can all agree with that. Maybe it might be a hard pill to swallow this morning for the ladies, but I think if we're being fair, we can all agree with that. No doubts. No doubts on that one. I think we can all agree with that, right? Right? Yeah, I think so. Nathan, you sound like a materialistic fool. Oh my gosh, really? I'm not really materialistic. I'm sure I'm a fool on a lot of different things, as we all are. But no, I think you, like I said, you wasn't saying all this making excuses for Kendu. You went super hard at Kendu when he left Mary J. Blige. And what did I tell you? I told you he probably wasn't happy, that she was probably abusing him. Because I'll say it again. What black man is leaving a marriage with a woman who's a multi-millionaire R&B superstar, and your job is to manage her career? What black man leaving that? Unless it's major issues that force him to leave it. You couldn't understand it. But you can understand Nia Long in this movie. And she ain't had no problems whatsoever. She had a man that was cooking for her, and all he was doing was recovering from nearly dying in an accident. That's it. See, that's that double standard right there. And Vince writes, Nate, people out here still playing with this, even if they know someone that dies with the not me attitude. I see so many people, especially white people, walking around face free of a mask. The order is now in place today for 6 p.m. Let's see how many black people get locked up behind this one. We know what happened the first time that Governor DeWine put his stay-at-home protective order. Black people in Hamilton County were over-prosecuted and overcharged. Those are the facts. We already know what's going to happen, if in fact it goes to that point, because there's still a lot of problems we got to work on. Tracy writes, she was pretending for her BFF. See, no, she wasn't. She was pretending for herself. See, look at you doing it again. Making excuses for bad behavior when it comes from women. She was, can you just say she was wrong one time, Tracy? I mean, are you even capable of that? Can you say she was wrong? She was wrong. People make mistakes. You move on. Life goes on. But here she was pretending for her best friend. And how'd that work for her best friend? How'd that work? That's right. It didn't work too good. She was pretending for herself because she didn't want to deal with the consequences in her marriage of revealing to her husband that she did something with another dude. Period. It was purely self-interest. It ain't had nothing to do with her. People like to tell themselves, I'm doing it for my relationship. You're doing it for you. That's why you're doing it. Keep it real. Because you don't want to have to come forward. See, take a break, man. I'm going to come right back. Get myself together. See, there you go. You didn't make these excuses for Kendu, Tracy. I'm going to say it again. Kendu was the worst man in the world. He was selfish. You dragged him through the mud for weeks. Man, dragged him through the mud for weeks. He was the worst guy ever. People start saying stuff like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Why'd you get married? Ain't nobody saying that when it's a woman, though. You understand. I don't get it, man. Angela writes, black men don't cheat. Thank you, Angelo. Damn, that brother's on code, man. Thank you. Black men don't cheat. Thank you. TNT's in the house. Good morning. See TNT for your tailor-made mask. She hooked me and the fam up. It's branded, whatever your brand is, whatever. She can make it super official, super durable. I love it. Appreciate it. We're going to go to break just on Angelo right there. Black men don't cheat. We're going to keep that up on the screen so y'all don't forget. Black men don't cheat. Thank you, Angelo. We'll be right back. It's the Nathan Ivey Show.
With the Bloomberg Black Business Report, I'm Donna Wilson. This week, the Senate is moving toward confirming 3 new regulators at the Fed and SEC. All are white, despite growing calls for racial and economic justice. Research shows only 3% of high-level officials at U.S. financial regulatory agencies have been black, and there's only 1 black official among 21 current appointees at agencies regulating $70 trillion in U.S. assets. Some black analysts say if you want to bridge the black wealth and income gap, why not have a black person in the room? In other news, Warner Music Group and the Blavatnik Family Foundation's Social Justice Fund will provide $100 million to support charitable causes and organizations on the front lines fighting for social justice, equity, and diversity. That's your Bloomberg Black Business Report. I'm Donna Wilson.
This is the Nathan Ivey Show. Get ready to be engaged. Get ready to be informed. Get ready to be enraged by the man City Beat magazine called a talk radio rebel. And your host, now back to the show.
This is Zoe Wesson. What side of history do you want to be on? The right side, or one where black people continue to be underrepresented in Hamilton County? Now's your chance to end 230 years of exclusion. In Charlie Winburn, we have a man that's received the Cincinnati NAACP President's Award, who fought on the Ohio Civil Rights Commission for 6 years, who received the Baptist Ministers Conference Community Service Award. Charlie Winburn has received the Southern Christian Leadership Conference Award and was honored by WDBZ The Buzz as Pastor of the Month. We know Charlie Winburn, and he knows us. He's the right man to put us on the right side of history. On Tuesday, November 3rd, vote for Charlie Winburn for Hamilton County Treasurer.
I am Charlie Winburn, and I'm asking you for your vote on Tuesday, November the 3rd, paid for by friends of Charlie Winburn.
Hello, I'm Charlie Winburn with Renew Community Church. It seems like the coronavirus came from nowhere. I have some good news that if you never quit and don't give up, out of nowhere, the way will be made for you and your family. Take your life back. Join Renew Community Church each Sunday, 11:45 a.m. on Facebook Live, facebook.com/CincyRenew. Rewrite your life while at home. Join Renew Community Church for the 12-week Rewrite.me series each Sunday on Facebook Live. Renew your life at home. Go to SundayConnectCircle.org for a free 12-week, 200-page PDF. Take your power back. Rewrite your life. Join Renew Community Church each Sunday at 11:45 a.m. on Facebook Live, facebook.com/CINCI Renew. I am Charlie Winburn, and remember, out of nowhere, the way will be made for you and your family.
The Nathan Ivey Show is supported by listeners. Go to www.patreon.com/Nathan Ivey Show and help Nathan keep the show independent.
180 over 111. I had a heart attack and a cardiac arrest and then a stroke.
Your blood pressure numbers could change your life. Lowering your high blood pressure could save you from a heart attack or stroke. If you've stopped your treatment plan, restart it or talk to your doctor about creating one that works better for you. Start taking the right steps at manageYourBP.org.
Now I'm, trying to get better, stronger than ever.
Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Medical Association, and the Ad Council.
You ready to shake up the world, radio man?
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Currently 9:42 a.m. in the Queen City. It's the Nathan Ivey Show, and it's a beautiful Thursday morning. Many things to discuss. We've been talking about this Netflix Fatal Attraction. What it's called? Fatal. Is that what it's called? Fatal Attraction, I believe. Starring Nia Long, Freudian slip, and Omar Epps from back in the day. It's on Netflix right now. There's been I've seen some of the choppers who got a chance to see it. There's some mixed reviews about it, but some of the issues in it I thought were just worthy of a deeper conversation. We've been discussing that. Also, on a more serious note, here locally, you got members of city council and also state reps as well. So we'll say elected officials locally and regionally who've come together, and it looks like they want to declare. That's Tracy calling in. Oh, she gonna let me have it. But they want to declare Cincinnati racism a public health crisis here in Cincinnati. Now, of course, we know what's happened at the state level here. This was actually pushed by elected Democrat officials in the state of Ohio. Here in Hamilton County, you had elected officials, again, Democrats, I'm just giving props where props is due, have declared racism a public health crisis. And this isn't just lip service from what I'm seeing, okay? On the county level, they're putting some teeth behind this. They want to put some action behind this, right? Some focus behind it. and also here in the city of Cincinnati. If you're a Cincinnatian, a Hamilton Countyman, or even an Ohioan, how do you feel about this push to declare racism a public health care crisis? Do you see this as a necessary step in the overall fight to get equity policy intangibles for people that look like us, people that look like me and you, perhaps, for Black people, for African Americans, for people of color that live in those particular areas? What is your opinion about it? And I think, just real quickly, and we'll go to straight to Tracy's phone call. I think it depends on what happens next. You know, if what happens next is something that's tangible that people feel like, oh, okay, it's moving the needle, it's a great idea. If this is just lip service, you know, just something for politicians to look good about and nothing of really any substantial, you know, change actually happens, then it's going to just be BS. But I'm hopeful that in this, and really it's going to come down to the people. Like if the politicians say they want to do this, we have to push them to do what they say. Okay, we got to push them. But enough of me, more of you. Let's take our first call this morning, actually, and speak with Tracy. Good morning, Tracy. How are you?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great. Welcome.
I'm sorry I wasn't in a position to talk earlier, but I was hoping I could get my call in before 10 o'clock. So look, I'm going to say, you know, I'm 20 years in the marriage game, so I feel like I can speak on it. You got the same amount of years. Nia Long is definitely wrong, okay? Don't let your mouth hit the floor. The difference between Nia Long and Kendu, let me start with Kendu. Kendu saw a come up, okay, and Mary J. Blige. Kendu was really a nobody in the industry. He wasn't doing anything major. He saw a come up. He stayed married long enough to get vested, and his plan worked. He got paid. Nia Long and this man were, her husband were college sweethearts, okay? He had this accident. He was down for about a year, and the first clue to me was when they showed the pills on the table, okay? So he was, you know, always medicated. He was always asleep. They showed that in the dream. He couldn't do anything, and she was left unfulfilled. Now, this is no different than women who'll be in a relationship and they say, I ain't cooking, I ain't cleaning, he knew who he married. Well, what you won't do, another woman will. And men, when they're not fulfilled in their marriages, in their relationships, they find another woman who will. So don't act like Black men don't cheat, because I put a list in a little comment in the comment section of Black men who have cheated.
I bet you did.
You know, the sad thing about it is when women cheat, you know, we have to wear the scarlet letter, and men don't, because, you know, men are quote unquote hunters, and, you know, they're dogs, and, you know, that's what they're expected to do, and, you know, it's natural because of their carnal behavior. But we have to go out here and wear a red scarlet letter and a target on our backs because we decided to do the same thing the man has been doing since the beginning of time. When I said that she was doing this for her best friend, remember in the part of the movie when she wanted to go to happy hour with her friend, and her friend was like, oh, I thought you all would be all over the house doing this, that, and the third. She smiled, oh, no, we're not doing that. You know, she didn't want to tell her, look, I ain't even getting none at home for real. You know, she just kept it all cushy and cozy, like, oh, yeah, well, no, I just wanted to go out and spend some time with you, basically. She, you know, they had it all. Yes, they did. But you can still be left unfulfilled in that marriage. Material isn't everything. Yeah, her daughter was gone. Yeah, they had this oceanfront. You say house, I say mansion. The square footage in that house was just insane. You know, they had great careers. She was starting her own practice. He was going back to work, but she was still empty and miserable inside. Now, is that a reason to cheat? No, but it's factual. People do it every day. Women do it and men do it. The only thing is we take the beating as women doing the same thing that men do. And I think it's ridiculous.
I appreciate the flow, but I disagree. You already know I disagree. I think men take more of a beating.
Why do you disagree?
I disagree.
Why do you disagree?
I disagree on two things. Number one, I disagree on your characterization of what happened with Kendu and Mary J. You know, this is an old conversation between us. We've been going back and forth about this. That's why I brought it up. I think that you're speculating, and we don't really know that's true. I think it's just as likely that he was in love with Mary J., helped her build her career even more, and then fell out of love with her. Maybe she started abusing him or something. I think that's just as likely, and we don't have any more evidence that your theory is right than my theory. So I'm going to assume the positive.
Her career and her brand was already built. He just came in and he started spending money and spending it on his little girlfriend.
What?
And stayed married just as long enough so that he can get paid some alimony. He is a simp.
I disagree.
I'm trying to respect your show and not.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
That man is a simp.
Okay, I understand that. We disagree on that one. And then the way you characterize it and making these excuses for Nia Long in this Netflix movie, talking about he was down. He nearly died. It's for better or for worse. If he can't put it down for a short amount of time because he's in recovery, then you're supposed to be there with him while he in recovery. You might have to sacrifice.
Of course she is. I didn't say that she was right in what she did. I immediately picked up the phone and told you she was dead wrong for what she did.
Okay. But I didn't hear that the first time.
It's been women laid on their backs in childbirth getting ready to die, and dude is calling the side piece while she's pushing. Man, stop acting like that. It don't happen both ways.
It does. It does happen both ways. Obviously, we know that. I'm just saying that it seems like people are far more, women like yourself, are far more willing to see the other side and kind of soften it when it's a woman that's doing it wrong, like Nia Long did.
No.
Do you agree that what she should have did in the movie?
Men are from Mars.
Do you agree with me when I say that in that movie, what she should have did is she should have came home and just told her husband about what almost happened? And all of that never would have happened.
Knew her husband and knew she would have got punched in her head. If I did something like that, knowing my husband and his temperament, it's probably gonna take me a few days or a few weeks to say, honey, I was in the bathroom up on the stall with a man and now he's stalking me. I can't come out and say that easily. It ain't gonna roll off of my tongue in 5 minutes.
Right.
I just know my husband.
I get it.
You know?
I get it. But that would have been better, and it would have stopped a whole lot of stuff, like the boyfriend of their child being murdered. A whole lot of stuff wouldn't have happened if she would have just been honest. Yeah. If not that night, then maybe within a week or so.
This guy she was dealing with, and knowing how weak her husband was, he got his tail beat trying to fight. I might not have thought it out because I knew my husband was gonna get his ass kicked. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
Yeah, you're right about that. The wife and I were watching. I was cracking up like, damn, this what you gonna do? You can't protect your woman? Damn.
He couldn't do nothing. He wasn't in position.
Yeah, I didn't like the way they portrayed him that way. Like he was like some weak guy, but I guess they explained it because he was. I guess they explained it because he had just had this accident and was still in recovery. But I'm like, dude, don't take your ass out there. He flipping him over the edge and just kicking him around. I'm like, damn, yo, this all you got?
Down like a rag doll.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
All right, Nathan, that's my 2 cents today.
I appreciate it. That's Trace from Cincinnati. I knew she was gonna let me have it. But again, we've been going back and forth about Kendu for a while, and I had to bring it up. I just had to bring it up. You got me up into the top of the hour, which is approximately about 8 minutes. We may go a little bit over the 10 a.m. Time frame this morning. I appreciate you being here. But I want to get back to what I was talking about and just ask you the question again. I mean, what do you make out of, elected officials here in the state of Ohio? This has happened on the Ohio level. And again, Democrats at the Ohio state level. Yes, the state of Ohio level, at the state level here in Ohio is probably the best way to say it, have, these are Democrats primarily, have been trying to push for a declaration of racism as a public health crisis. We've seen it, again, primarily by Democrats. I don't know how the Republicans feel about this, on the county level. The county commissioners all Democrats right now, have been pushing this. And they're trying to put some teeth behind it with new alliances and, looking at racism and trying to attack it in different ways. And now here at the city level, where you got members of city council coming together and others saying, look, we want to be a part of the conversation right now. Right. And to make sure that Cincinnati is a part of it. What do you make of it? What do you think will come out of it? I would tell you that I think that the power is with the people. And it's on us to organize and push them and hold them accountable to it. If they want to make these declarations, and as I understand, in August, city council may vote on this. Okay, let them make the declaration, and then let's figure out what that actually means. Will it lead to equity, policy, intangibles? Again, that should be the conversations we're having with politicians. Not about symbols, but equity, policy, intangibles. If it leads to that, it's all good. It's all good. I'm loving it. But again, what are your thoughts about it? 513-873-7134. Anthony writes, hated D took his damn shirt off, made me look bad. Huh? Kristen writes, excellent battle. DMX was so out of breath. LOL, but loved. Oh, really? Again, I need a chance to watch all of it. Ronna writes, it's on Apple Music. Okay. Tracy writes, replying to Kristen, he needs to get in shape and get ready to tour. Oh, wait. So DMX took his shirt off and he wasn't ready for that moment. Oh, man. I mean, I guess he's comfortable in his own skin. You got to say something for a brother that's comfortable in his own skin, no matter what that skin looks like. Tracy writes, looks like the few bad apples sheriffs kicked people in the head at the JC. Yeah, glad to see that sheriff deputy got fired. That sheriff deputy that kicked the man. I watched the video. He could have kicked that man's head off. And to me, it says something not only about that deputy, but all the deputies in the environment. That a sheriff deputy in a moment like that would feel so comfortable to kick a man in the head like that. Think about it. You're that comfortable to kick a man in the head? That means he's probably kicked other men in the head. Other abuses have happened and they've all just kind of like, hey, it's what it's us against them. It says something about the environment, not just the individual, that in front of everybody, he knows cameras are there. You got them other deputies. He kicked this man in the head. The man's hands was behind his back. I don't care what he did. So what? He tried to bite your boot. That's why you have boots on to a certain specification so you can deal with those kind of things. He's not going to bite through the boot. I mean, that's a hell of a bite right there. What is he, a great white shark? I mean, what is he, an alligator? I mean, his human jaws are not going to bite through the sheriff deputy's shoe. I'm sorry. So I'm glad to see that sheriff deputy got fired, and I hope it sticks. Tracy writes, DeWine gave the folks out. DeWine gave folks the out. Everybody will have a medical condition now. Is that right? Jason writes, does Portland still have the feds on the street? I believe they do. And Chicago is next. From what I understand, Trump is doubling down on sending forces, that's military forces, right, to these American cities. I saw something interesting on Huffington Post, though, the other day. Hold on, let me see if I can pull this up real quick. It's in some of my notes. Hold on, give me 1 second. I saw something interesting the other day, a conversation that took place on either CNN or MSNBC. And one of their hosts says that, or put it out there, that, let me check this out here. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, here it is. One of the hosts put it out there that they felt like Trump was putting forces in place to try to steal the election in November. I don't know if it's true. Trump and Barr expand surge in federal officers to Chicago and Albuquerque. So we've had federal interference in Portland, soon to be Chicago and Albuquerque. And see, this is the Republican Party once again not staying on code. The Republican Party is always about local. The federal government has no purview. It's not the prerogative of the federal government until they decide it is. And I think Attorney General William Barr will go down as one of the most corrupt U.S. attorneys that we've seen in a long time. The man is even more corrupt than the elf on the shelf, Jeff Sessions. He's even more corrupt than the elf on the shelf, Jeff Sessions. I thought Jeff Sessions was corrupt. At least he has some morals and wasn't willing to bend the will of the office of the U.S. Attorney General to Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? I never thought I'd say that, but William Barr is far worse than Jeff Sessions ever was. But let me take another call here. More of you, less of me. That's my motto. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Ivy. This is your West Side Connection.
Drop Squad 52 calling in from the left coast. The new reigning champion of COVID-19 cases, California. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, sir. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Mr. Ivy, I know your show's about to end, but I had to get this in because I am monitoring your show because you are not hyping up not the debut, but the highly anticipated, highly waiting interview with Basement Biden and the Magic Man, Barack Hussein Obama, today on the internet. Mr. Ivy, why are you not pumping up this great event?
Well, I mean, I'm not sure I don't believe it's a great event, and I'm going to take a wait and see posture. You know what I'm saying? I want to see what they're going to say, if it's going to be of any useful resourcefulness to us, and I'll report on what happens tomorrow.
Okay, well, if you allow me, I don't read stuff too often, but if you allow me, this is a headline on Politico today. Poll: Millennials, Generation Z, and battleground states want Biden to pick black woman as VP. The polling suggests that some voters could be swayed by such a choice. And I posted that in the Chop Shop along with the link. Now, Mr. Ivy, what do you think that headline means?
Well, I'll take it literally.
Some voters could be swayed by Joe Biden picking a black VP.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that. That rings true to me. Makes sense.
Right. So I interpret it as the ever looming problem that Joe Biden has with the young voters. Because why else would he join forces with Bernie Sanders, the socialist, who's not even a Democrat? He's still an independent. And the word on the street is that his vice president is going to be Elizabeth Warren. So, again, Mr. Ivy, I just wanted to point out the fact that it may look as if Donald Trump is a train wreck, but America is seeing what's happening in Seattle, Atlanta, Portland, Chicago, New York, all cities run by Democrat mayors who are not stopping these so-called peaceful protesters from destroying federal buildings and federal property. And the fact that the president is initiating Operation Legend, and now I don't know if you know this, Mr. Ivy, but that operation is named after a little boy named Legend Telefair, I think. That's how you pronounce his last name. And he happens to be a little black boy. And his mother spoke yesterday at the White House when the president announced his new, the expansion of his Operation Legend going into Chicago, I think today. Now, again, Mr. Ivy, because I know you are a powerful, influential member of the media, you would do your due diligence when you speak on these issues, especially what's going on in these cities across America. They're not stormtroopers. They are not men dressed in green. They are not secret police. They are not troops. They are not military. So, Mr. Ivy, that's all I got.
What are they?
Because you know my motto: trust but verify everything.
What are they then, Drop?
These are members of ICE, Immigration Customs Enforcement, Customs and Border Protection, Homeland Security. These are all officers who work in coordinates with the state's attorney. And Lori Lightfoot, she made this clear yesterday after she had to backtrack after going after the police commissioner. I mean the police union guy. But anyway, I digress. But these individuals, Mr. Ivy, they come in and they help these cities solve these major federal crimes. So the reason he's expanding it is because a lot of these people who are taking over these peaceful protests, when the sun sets, there's enough intelligence that has been gathered over the last 60, 80 days that they know who some of these individuals are. So they're just assisting the local federal agencies to go after these people because they know who they are. And that one video that they keep showing over and over of that suspect that was taken off the street by those members of the protection team who were in rental vehicles undercover, which is nothing new. They apprehended this person because this person was already under surveillance, Mr. Ivy. They had already been tracking this individual. So, again, that is what Operation Legends is about. They are not secret police. They are from these agencies. They have received training, and this law was passed, I think, in 2005. I'm not exactly sure, but it is new, where the president has this authority to send these members from these agencies in to assist in these cities with these high crimes, federal crimes, gun law violations, and things like that. So, but again, trust but verify, Mr. Ivy, because I'm just a caller from California. That's all I am. I am not a member of the media, but that's all I got, sir. And for anyone else out there who thinks that Donald Trump, the first orange president, also known as the first gangster president, is just going to back down because Basement Biden has an interview with the second black president, we'll see. Drop Squad 52, dropping science to anyone who wants to catch it. Peace.
I hope you're not talking about no damn Bill Clinton, because I take that that's high disrespect. Bill Clinton was not no damn first black president. I don't know what he's talking about, but he's caping for Trump as usual. It's all good. I expect nothing different. Hey, listen, family, you may or may not know, but I have a petition circulating asking City Council to create a tough law with real consequences for anybody that would recklessly or knowingly make a biased police call. And I want to play for you another example. I mean, these examples of these Karens and Darrens keep coming up. Other cities and states around the country have started the process to enact similar policy. And I'm asking City Council to do the same thing. I think we have, at least the last time I checked a few days ago, over 12,000 signatures already. So that's 12,000 people that feel the same way we feel, family. And I want to move beyond just lip surface, beyond talk into action. And this is the first step. And I am working with a member of City Council to make this happen. I'm pretty confident in today's climate that this will happen. And I've also contacted a state rep in the state of Ohio to draw up a bill. And we'll see what happens with that as well. It'll take people who feel the same way I do, that we should have legal protections for our family, for people of color, against the kind of things that I'm going to play you a little clip right here. This is on social media. You can check it out for yourself. Check this out. Hold on, family, because I want to make sure you can't even hear that, can you? Hold on 1 second. Give me 1 second here. Hold on, let me back this up. I want to make sure you can hear it. I know you couldn't hear none of that. Hold on 1 second. We're going to refresh this and move it back. And you can see this right now on social media. I want to play this for you. Now, when this happens, if and when this happens in Cincinnati, what are we going to do about it? Well, I'm glad to tell you there's some folks that's already on it. We already on it. Okay.
So right now, this lady just hit my mirror right here. Really easy. Just give me the insurance name. That's what they're for. She's going to call the police, of course, because I look a certain way. Apparently, I'm threatening. This is right here. There you go. I'm not. I mean, you hit my mirror. You're saying it's not what it is, but I'm telling you, I'll just take a picture of it. We have insurances. I mean, that's what we have insurances for. Let them douche it out. It doesn't need to be anything bigger than that. You want to call the police because you feel a certain way. So she doesn't want to give me the insurance. Sure, call the police.
I do want to give you the insurance.
But with the police present.
Call 911 first.
Yes. Because apparently the way I look over here, of course.
It's not about how you look.
It's threatening somehow. because I've never had the situation where they have to call the police. Getting into it, I'm just asking for her insurance.
She calls the police family and says the man is threatening her. I'm looking at the video. I don't see anything threatening at all.
This is what I'm talking about. I'm threatening her. Of course, I asked for insurance. I want the ID, and I'm threatening her. And this is the injustice that we talk about all the time over here. And it is really sad because look at it, man. I deal with a lot of people. I go and I do showers and I do everything. You know who I am. And over here, this lady wants to make it a bigger deal than it is. She's calling the police because she feels threatened by me. She says she doesn't feel threatened, but then she goes over there and says it herself. So pretty much right now, the police officer even told her on the phone he doesn't hear a threat because I haven't threatened and everything. And here she comes up to me, but all I've asked so far is for her insurance because she hit my mirror. She doesn't want to do it. She doesn't want to give me her ID.
Sign the petition, family, if you haven't already done so. It's on change.org right now. Please share it on your social media networks.
All I need is your insurance,
I'm gonna give you the fucking insurance, goddammit!
Then why are you calling the police?
Because I'm afraid of you!
She's afraid of me because I am Mexican American. I was born here. I'm Mexican American. I haven't even screamed at her. I haven't yelled at her. She just hit my car and she wants to make herself a victim. This is obviously what happens. I don't understand it. This is just what
I'm looking for not only criminal charges, but also, you know, an opportunity to get in that pocketbook as well.
About me, again, I don't understand the injustice. Yeah, I can't force her to.
Is the driver's license.
Currently, Cincinnati doesn't have any protections for something like this. There's no consequence. We are working to bring that consequence to protect people of color here in the city of Cincinnati. So if you haven't already done so, please sign the petition, family. It means everything. And with that, I got to make a move. Have an excellent rest of your day. I'll be back with you bright and early tomorrow morning. We will chop it up on everything that's going on. You know what I'm saying? Have an excellent rest of your Thursday. All right. We'll talk soon. If you want to connect with me, hit me up with a DM. If you're doing digital media or you're thinking about doing a podcast here in the greater Cincinnati area, in particular, I want to work with Black podcasters, people that are creating digital media here in the city of Cincinnati. Hit me with a DM. That's a direct message. All right. I'll leave you with this. Winners focus on winning. Losers focus on winners. Stay focused and stay winning, and we'll talk real soon. I'm out, fam.